So, X-Men came out today. It looks good. It sounds good. We're not here to talk about X-Men. We're here to talk about fucking Neighbors. I didn't like it.
I'm the more tolerant of Seth Rogen, and I didn't like it either.
Oh, this is so stupid.
It was basically the best way to put this is douchebag the movie.
Douchebags, plural.
Sorry, yeah. Well, I refer to them as one collective.
Fair enough. Either way, they're all fucking douchebags. It's Seth Rogen did the same shit we've seen him do 1,000 fucking times. There's really no difference between this thing and any other movie he's done.
Well, for me, the difference is that those movies actually had funny jokes sometimes. This one, not so. It's like, I understand, like, it was...
Look, I get it, guys. You have a penis. You can smoke pot. Yep, you fucking do. That joke mill can only run so many times.
Yeah.
Before it gets old. And I never liked it to begin with. So, I don't know. Apparently, it's still enough to get people in the seat because our theater was fucking packed, surprisingly.
Yeah, like, I'm actually surprised how good reviews this movie's got.
And so am I. Granted, I'm most surprised any Seth Rogen comedy gets as good reviews as it does. But even at least then, I can see some merit in it.
Like, this is the end. You actually mildly enjoyed that one.
Mildly being the key phrase.
Yeah. But you still got some enjoyment from it. Like, here there maybe... I never laughed out loud. I got some chuckles, but I was like, ah.
Yeah.
I think there's like one good joke that we both laughed at is because it felt like something out of Family Guy with Dr. Hartman.
Oh. No, the only thing that made me laugh at that is just the woman's reaction, like the only realistic reaction to anyone in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Of just, who the fuck would say that?
Yeah. It's basically after the baby gets found in the car, it's like, how's our baby? Your baby has HIV. Is what could have happened right now. Who the fuck says that?
Yeah.
I'm quoting the movie, by the way.
There's a person standing right outside the car window. I'm like slightly skeptical. Anyway. Just I don't even know where to fucking start. I mean, it's Zac Efron. God bless him. He keeps trying, but no, it's not working. I'm sorry. It's just no. It's what is that other fucking movie he was in there earlier this year?
I can't remember.
Oh, it's that stupid one that was like named after a hashtag.
It had something to do with the breakup movie. That's all I remember. Like, had him, Michael B. Jordan, and was it Miles Teller? Yeah. A.K.A. the guy who went from Spectacular now to 21 and over.
He's Mr. Fantastic now, so let's see what happens with him.
Mr. Meh. That is what I expect.
Hey, you know what? I'll give Miles Taylor credit. He could be charming if he wants to be. It does depends on the fucking script he's given.
Yeah.
But
the world's greatest scientist is 20 years old for some reason.
The Ultimate version did it. So
really?
Yeah, that's the character in the Ultimate Fantastic Four is like 20 years old.
Okay.
Yep. So who knows? Maybe we could pull it off. I don't know. But we're not here. We're not here to talk Fantastic Four. We're here to talk about this stupid Seth Rogen comedy. And what else is there to say about it? It's a stupid Seth Rogen comedy. You know exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like, it's just horrible people doing horrible things to each other.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those movies where it's just too mean-spirited.
Pretty much.
It's just like, it's mean-spirited. You don't like the characters, and a lot of the jokes is just like, oh my god, they dragged on for so long.
It's like they kept, and there's jokes where they literally just kept repeating the same phrase over and over again, as if saying it again, like there was ones like, cock in your hands. And they said that 20 times, as if, you get it? It's a cock. That's a reference to a penis. That's a comedy, right?
It's like, honestly, it's like the entire time I just couldn't help but think back to, like, this is the end. It's like, at least then they found ways to, like, escalate the joke somehow. Like, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to at least kind of, make me laugh. But this, it's just like, no, they literally just repeated the same thing.
I mean, I've made no secret of my hatred for this kind of humor because I think it takes no imagination to make. And I think this movie is more of an example of how lazy that comedy is, more than any other Seth Rogen comedy in recent age.
No, I agree.
I mean, at least I'll give This Is the End credit. I didn't like it, but it was more creative than this.
Yeah. I will say that movie was actually smarter than it would let off on. Like, in terms of the religious subtext. Believe it, no, there was, like, a lot of things that, like, when I read up on it, just like...
They promised you had to read up on it.
No, it's like, no, I didn't read up about the movie. I read up about other stuff. And it was just like... Son of a gun! It's like, it was kind of the same thing with Noah, where it's like...
Too bad it was just hidden behind layers of stupid comedy.
Yeah.
And stupid it's lazy humor. It drives me crazy. It's like, there's only pot and penis jokes you can make for, like, hey, we need to find some different sources of material here, guys.
Yeah.
We're kind of running out of stupid jokes, so we have to repeat the same one 20 times over again. I kind of like the airbag gag. That's one of the few ones I actually did kind of find. But then again, I've seen that in the trailer 500 times, so by the time it actually pops up, it ceases to be funny.
Yeah.
And then it's the same problem in a lot of comedies nowadays. It's like, it's gonna be instantly dated within like 3 months because you use pop culture references, most of which, like, even the main characters I don't think would get.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell has a Robert De Niro party?
No one.
No one has a Robert De Niro party.
Not even Robert De Niro.
Well, I mean, that's because he's Robert De Niro. He doesn't need to have a party. He is the party. But
no, I was going to say, because even he realized, like, how out of date he is.
Just how stupid it is. Now, Robert De Niro would do pretty much anything nowadays. But just, oh, my God. Okay, so what's the story?
Relatively newly married couple. Like, they've already had their kid. They're people that live in a house and fail at sex and have a kid. 3 dimensions.
Just end every phrase with that sentence. I'm going to the supermarket. 3 dimensions. As opposed to like 2D, as if it's like Mario game.
No.
No, that's Zac Efron.
Yeah, because, I mean, what I'm trying to get, I'm trying to just explain how deep they are.
Yeah.
And how, like, well layered of characters they
Oh, yeah, I really felt their emotional struggle. So when they have that kind of serious, dramatic moment, like, towards the third act in the movie, it's like, wow, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like, y'all thought this was such a, I mean, it's just,
I mean, granted, like, I liked what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Because in a better comedy, you could actually balance that out with some actually good stuff to talk about. Yeah. Like, basically, at the end of the day, none of that fraternity things matter at all. Yeah. None of it matters.
I know. It's like it's like at the end, that's when you show, like, they had some good ideas. Mm-hmm. The problem is that it took an hour to get to it, and by that, you hated everyone, and there was no redeeming them.
Pretty much. Like, the only parts I really liked were, oddly enough, towards the very end of the movie. A, because the movie was almost over, and B, there were some parts that actually kind of made me laugh. The fight scene was actually pretty funny. I will give it that. The random-ass fight scene with Zac Efron, Seth Rogen, it had some stupid jokes. I kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, generally, it's like, okay, this is at least somewhat entertaining.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is just like, no, just cock joke, drug joke, alcohol joke, just same repetitive shit we've seen over and over again. I mean, the party scene is such an overdone concept. It has, I guess I just hate fraternities in general because it just gets, it's so, I've like never ever really seen an out of control fraternity party, and I've been going to college for years.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not in the wrong place at the, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. It's just, well, as I said, it's just, for me, it was too much douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, there's a way to make a at least entertaining douche, and if you can do that, I'm fine with the person being a douche. Mm. But the problem is that,
they can't be consistent.
Yeah.
Like, 1 minute he's like, he's supposed to be such a nice guy. Next minute he's doing like horrible things to this older couple for no apparent reason.
Yeah. You called the cops on us. It didn't do anything. We hate you.
By the way, what kind of fucking cop points out the people that made in the anonymous call to the people they're complaining to?
Yeah, it's like...
Instantly fired.
Yeah. If you thought the cop work in End of Watch was bad, oh my! This guy had his own problems. Like, yeah, well... Like
that's the problem. No one acts in any sort of, like, real-world rules. Like,
I'm okay with that if they make it, like, their world.
Yeah, I agree. But it's, like, this point, it just feels like it's supposed to be in the real world kind of thing. And it just feels like none of these people are doing anything that fits within that realm. And not even the characters aren't consistent at all. Yeah. They constantly change behavior. They can't decide what the hell they want to be.
Like, yeah, it's like, I will say, it's like, I think I understand, like, they kind of made their own worlds. It's not necessarily supposed to be real. It's, you know, it's in the real world, but not necessarily real
Fair enough.
But that being said, I agree. They were, like, really da-da-da. It's like, these guys are feuding with each other, you know, over all this crap. Suddenly, I got weed. Yeah! I mean, it's part of a scam, but it's just like...
It's just flip-flops so much. Yeah. Like, there's that part towards the very end of the movie where, like, how it works is if the fraternity gets 3 strikes against them, they get kicked out of the neighborhood. So, Seth Rogen and his wife go on a horrible plan to kick him out, basically.
Yeah, it's like, we've made our point. We're bored. Let's go further.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, wait. I understand you want revenge, but at the same time, I think peace is a pretty good option. You gave them the weed. They chilled out, but instead, you kind of take it further. And it's like, I understand you want revenge, and they got their revenge. It's just like, okay, I don't like it, but at least you made your point. And then, let's do more because we're bored. It's like,
Yeah, horrible people. To elaborate on that a little bit, after there's an incident happens caused by Seth Rogen and his wife that causes the fraternity go on probation, which basically means no more parties and no more any of that shit.
I don't even remember what happened. Oh, now I remember what happened.
Yeah, so technically they won, but they decide they get bored because they have nothing else to do now, so then they decide to fuck with them some more or officially kick them out because they decide to just be horrible people all of a sudden.
Yeah, and then after all that, it's like, oh, we like, you know, things being calm now all of a sudden. It's just like...
Ugh, it's stupid. It's all so stupid. Like, there was something I was going to say, I forgot. Something to do with before the, oh, yeah! And the whole issue of what to do with the fraternity guy can be solved very, very easily if they spent 5 seconds to actually think about it. Because what happens is, as I said, the movie starts out where they introduce themselves to Zac Efron, the neighbor. They make peace, they have a party, they seem to get along fine. But it says, oh, but you gotta promise us not to ever call the cops. So 5 minutes later, they call the cops. And
yeah, because like later that day, it's like, yeah, we called you 10 times, we didn't answer the phone, so we called the cops. It's like...
That's a pretty legitimate reason.
Yeah. It's like, I will admit that. It's like, but at the same time, yeah, you could have gone over.
Yeah.
It's like, what was their reason? Because we'll seem lame. And then they call the cops. They get called out. They're even, yeah.
But,
just like...
Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. But so then the fraternity at that point proceeds to just harass the shit out of them, vandalizing their lawns, just constantly doing this and that. And it's like, it can be solved everything can be solved very, very easily with one simple move. Just get a restraining order.
I'm not sure. Maybe they got that same cop again who clearly didn't give a crap.
Well, still, though, it's like, you have a solid case. Take photographic evidence. Yeah. Take pictures of what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like...
File a restraining order. Any judge will clear that shit.
Yeah. Which brings up to the other thing, the thing with the dean. Like, that is another, like... Although, admittedly, it's like, why does this feel like San Jose State?
I don't comment. I refuse to comment on stuff like... I don't know enough of the politics. I don't care.
I know. Of course, deans are part of different departments, which is...
Well, isn't there, like, a head of state?
Or... Yeah. So, but... I mean, that was what... I can't remember what it was specifically where I made that joke, but... It's just, But, like, it made it apparent, like... I'm not sure. It was just in a state where authority did...
It's a bunch... It's just immature douchebags being immature douchebags. Yeah. That's basically the movie in a nutshell.
Well, that authority just didn't care.
That, too.
Like, that's one of the others, like, I'd say...
Everyone's immature. There is no adult here. Everyone's a child. It's like, dear God. And the whole theme of the movie is supposed to be becoming an adult, and no one becomes an adult.
Yeah.
The movie ends with the main couple eating pizza and dipping in ranch dressing in bed. Almost ends.
In all fairness, though, there are probably plenty of people who actually do that. I mean, but it's like, still, the concept's the same. It's just like... But even if they did, it's just, it happened so instantaneously.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, oh, we're gonna have a dramatic moment here that we haven't earned. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Now pizza and ranch.
Pretty much. And I kind of liked their conversation up to that point. Kind of being the key phrase. But at the same time, then it's like, oh, well, you just completely ruined it. Thank you. There's a lot of moments like that. I was like, okay, I can kind of get behind this, and then they just killed it. Like, for example, one of the frat boys actually looking for a job at a job fair. Like, that was kind of refreshing. And then they instantly killed it by repeating the same variation of the same joke 20 times.
Yeah, they're doing the whole variation.
Bros and hose. And they like, after like the 500th one's like, okay, guys, joke's over. Fucking end it. I had the same problem with Anchorman. And
speaking of which, that escalated quickly. I was surprised that was in there.
I don't care. At that point, I just did not care.
Yeah, I just like, I looked over you just to see if like rage would brew.
At that point, I was like, I just want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. This is stupid. I fucking hate Seth Rogen. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy. But goddamn, I hate his film career. I want to make that clear. I don't hate any of these people personally. I hate their body of work.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair thing to say. I got one people that give me shit because I hate on Will Ferrell and it says, you want him to die? It's like, no, I want his character to die. There's a fine distinction.
Yeah.
But, I don't have anything to say about this. You got anything?
No. It's just, there's not much to say about, like, the same jokes being repeated, dragged on for an hour and a half. And, like, if we did that, we'd just be repeating ourselves. Hey! That's a lesson the movie could have learned!
Because we never repeat ourselves in this show.
Yeah, but, you know, we at least have a point to it.
Alright, let's move on to trailers. First one we got, Purge 2.
Eh.
The first one was funny.
Yeah. Purge 2, Anarchy! And for some reason, it's actually kind of organized by a bunch of people to do stuff. I was like, wait, what?
I don't know. The whole concept's kind of undeveloped, to say the least. Like, apparently everyone immediately goes to serial killer ritual tendencies when given the opportunity.
Also, it's kind of laugh. It's like, oh god, the purge is commencing! Run! It's like, hello, 911. We're being followed! And? They're following us before the purge starts. Yeah, maybe it's just a coincidence.
Click.
You're terrible!
Fuck it. I don't know. It looks sound like your generic chaos. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna have quite the over-the-top hammy villain the first one did that made the last one so hilarious. Nor does it have, like, Ethan Hawke kicking everyone's ass, making these most inefficient killers I've ever seen. So that's Purge 2. So after that, we got Let's Be Cops, another movie I can give less of a shit about.
Yeah. I think there's, like, one thing I laughed in the trailer for, but, like, I don't remember what it was, because everything was just...
I mean, clearly if you got enough money to, like, renovate a car into a cop car...
Yeah.
Why do you need to pretend to be a cop?
Yeah. It's just... Honestly, it's like... I think actual cops would know that they're not cops, and they'd be arrested because they're impersonating cops.
Yep, so you can kind of already predict how the movie's going to end, in a nutshell. And then after that, we had A Million Ways to Die in the West. I've talked about this one before, so I don't really have anything on it. I think I'm still... it still annoys me that we're using, like, modern lingo in a movie that takes place in the Old West. I don't know. Maybe it's just... I know I'm being super nitpicky about it.
Yeah, well, considering it's... Basically, think this is an extended Family Guy sketch, in which case they would have done that regardless.
But that Family Guy sketch only lasts for 5 minutes. This is an hour-and-a-half movie, at least. I don't know.
They made it work with Ted, so, you know...
But that took place in the modern world. That makes sense. For me, it's like, if you're gonna make a movie... If you're gonna use modern lingo in a Wild West movie, why make it in the Wild West?
I don't know. As long as they find ways to make it funny, I don't care.
Fair enough.
Because, I mean, it can't be any worse than Neighbors. I pray to God it can't be
I was
any
gonna
worse.
say, you realize what you've just done, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get there and you're like, you had to fucking say it.
Come months later.
You just couldn't keep your damn mouth shut, could you, Grant? Alright.
Yeah. So the video starts with us with our throats slit. Yeah, wait, how did the camera turn on?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. What the
You saw nothing. Anyway. And then we got Expendables 3. I liked Expendables 2, so...
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I was not a fan of the first movie, but I really enjoyed the second one. Please, strike gold of the third.
I just know that has Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer apparently will just do fucking anything now.
Yep.
Like, I mean, he was in Legend of Oz. He played the Tin Man. I know. And he's in Transformers 4. The next one on the list.
We can skip that one.
You know what? It's easy to hate on the Transformers series.
I'm not saying I'm gonna hate on it. I'm just saying I'm sure have we already both talked about it?
Have we?
Actually, I don't know.
I don't think we have.
I will say this. Optimus punching out a Robo-Dino before riding it and making that Futurama sketch come to life. That's pretty awesome.
It's basically fan fiction come to life. Is basically what this movie looks like.
Robo-evolution. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. That's all I could think about when I saw that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. Mark Wahlberg beats shit out of Shia LaBeouf, I'll say that much. So that alone almost makes it worth checking out.
If anyone asks, it's a prequel to Pain and Gain.
Yes, this is still based on a true story. This is what happened when the LSD kicked in.
Oh, it needs The Rock, but unfortunately he was in the animated Transformers thing for like 5 minutes before getting killed.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was in Transformers Prime. He had a cameo in the first episode. They killed him in the first 5 minutes.
Of course he did. I got 5,000 movies to make, guys. I only have 5 minutes. What do you got for me? Ah! Splat. Okay, thank you guys. Here's my check. See you guys later. All right. So, you got anything else? Final thoughts?
Well, there weren't any more movies.
That was it?
Oh. There was anything else to say. It's just...
If you're really, really desperate for a comedy and you're a Seth Rogen fan, you might like it.
It's just... It was too much of the same joke over and over again with unlikable people.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty much on the same page on this one, oddly enough. It's like the first comedy with any of the Seth Rogen family that we've agreed on.
Although I think we've only watched 2, haven't we? Like, this and This Is the End.
Still.
Yeah.
Just in general, any of the comedies that usually we disagree on usually involve these little hodgepodge of people that I can't stand because they all do the same shit over and over and over again and expect me to give a shit.
Yeah.
So,
well, the way I see it, I think it was more like This End was the only one comedy I think we kind of disagreed on. The rest we were pretty on the same page.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, we didn't like it. So take that as you will.
I think you're thinking of Pat.
Now, if Pat was here, he would be this close to death. He gets closer and closer every review. This is why he's not allowed to see Blended with me next week. Like, I've looked at him and go, no, you are not seeing this Adam Sandler movie with me, because if it does, I am going to kill you. Like, there's going to be no hesitation, and I will be happy. And I will go to court and say it was justified. Right? I will plead self-defense. He didn't attack you first. He attacked me with his words.
Oh, verbal assault. You can justify some things. Not a lot. A lot.
Depends on the judge. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I think we're done here. So we'll be back next week with X-Men and Blended. So I'll see you guys later. Ah, shit. Shit.